Hello and welcome to Book Club for July. Thank you to Larry from Larry's Library for co-hosting as always. How are you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How about you?
Good, good. And Larry has given me an amazing amount of slides that are beautiful for Wonder Woman Historia.
Yeah, I just kept trying to decide which ones to include, and I kept finding more, and it's like, man, so it ended up like, I don't know, like 19 pages or something.
Yeah, well, it's no problem. I figured out how to add them. Oh, here's my fellow Jess Superman lover. Yay, Jessica. Way to be here. Nice. Thanks. We're glad to have you.
Cool. Yeah.
I just realized I went to all the trouble to get this special, dust jacket, and I forgot there's a little bit of story on it, which I didn't read because I just am now picking up on it. But it's an awesome fold-out cover.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
You don't? Okay. I don't even know who did it. I'm guessing maybe was this Phil Jimenez or Jorge Jimenez?
Phil.
Okay.
If that's who it is. I know we got 3 artists, but
okay, wait, I'll look. I always drop the ball. It was Phil Jimenez, and I don't. Oh yeah, it's here on the cover. Duh. Because I feel like we're going to spend a lot of time on Phil Jimenez because that was astonishing art in that opening arc.
Yeah, for sure. And at first I thought that was the best, but then the second book came in, and I'm like, I don't know, this is just as good or better. And then the third book, it just kept building.
I feel like everything. You needed Phil Jimenez's amazingly detailed, splashed out art for the creation and in the pantheon of gods, because it's all beautiful chaos, and then it centers on Zeus and stuff, and then it gets a little simpler with Gene Ha and Nicole Scott, but I think for storytelling purposes, it was supposed to be that way, and it was like the grandeur. Sorry?
Did you think theirs was simpler?
I did, yeah. I feel like if you compare,
as far as what's going on the page, well, yeah, that's complex, sure.
I feel like it was complex compared to like that. Now, I'm not saying it's not as good. I'm saying for the storytelling, to me, it's. I think that's what Kelly Sue DeConnick asked for, was something amazingly detailed and complex to show what the creation was like and what the heavens were like.
I see what you're saying.
And then
I think the last book. Sorry,
I was just gonna say, and then once they get down on Earth, things are a little bit more Earth-like
and more realistic, I think.
Yeah, and not the chaos and beauty of the heavens like Phil Jimenez created, and then it gets down to, I don't want to say cleaner, but it gets. I think it just goes with the storytelling where it's a little bit. Yeah, it's like what life on Earth would be like when you come down from the heavens.
Yeah, I was amazed at the choices they made on the artist. I think it was perfect for each book.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Here for the part where my dad mentions his Wonder Woman thoughts. Good to see you, Comic Slayer. Oh, Crazed Cassowary's here. Nice to see you. Wait, let's see who else is here. Whoa, we got a lot of people. It's Mr. Awesome's birthday, so happy birthday, Mr. Awesome. And I've never read any Scrooge McDuck, although I own some. The Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck is a big splash out for me at this time. I know people want it because parts of it aren't going to get reprinted due to controversial images, but I'm not sure that's reason enough for me to splash out for it. I want to be really, really interested in it. And I just am not sure yet. So, but I will consider all your words because you wrote a lot of good things about it. Elon is here. Happy birthday, as we say over here in Wales. Oh my goodness. Penwyd Happus. How do I pronounce that? Penblwyd.
I don't know.
I don't either. Dr. Elevator here. Does the other cover have a fold-out cover? I haven't opened mine yet.
It does not. It does not.
And it's just a small. I mean, it's just a bunch of extra art, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, you just have the flap in here, and that's it. You don't have anything.
Right. Okay. So yeah, there's two versions. The important thing is, of course, the spine. And I'm sure we both share the same spine.
Yeah, it's the same spine. Yeah.
Yeah. Now this is a Black Label book. Let's see who else is here. Didn't read the book. Here for the company. Okay, welcome, Mary. We're always happy to see you.
We'll take that.
Yeah. Does the book market dust jacket have something inside it? Yeah, I just showed it. Welcome, Phantom Fool. Jessica, I feel like the story got more grounded and smaller in scope. The art did as well. Art added to that progression.
Yep. And right. I actually was on the fence about, how much I liked this versus love it until I got to the entire ending. And the last 20, 30 pages really got me good. And
oh, that's so great to hear. I'm so pleased. There's Max. Yeah, we're in high def. Actually, we're not. Not on.
Well, 720.
Yeah.
Low key high def.
Okay. Comic Slayer's talking to Elon for something. Space Monkey, hello. True Graphic, how's it going? Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Doing pretty good.
Comic Slayer, Jess, you don't need to give Don Rosa your money. Okay, that's fair. After Kristen's experience with him, that's probably a good.
Not good experience. Yeah.
Right.
But maybe these old guys need to be cut a little bit of slack. They're probably in a lot of pain, right? Because they're old.
I know I am. So
but that doesn't excuse bad behavior,
Yeah, I don't having not experienced it. I can't really comment on it because it was her experience. So, I mean,
I can't remember how bad it was. Do you remember the details?
I remember the details enough that I'm on her side about it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I feel like it was an unnecessary
rudeness.
Yeah. And when you get now, that said, you're right about the old guys. When I went to Heroes Con, I got almost all younger people signatures, except for Jim Shooter. Now he's of course an older veteran, and compare him to Daniel Warren. We're digressing here for a sec, folks. But compare him to Daniel Warren Johnson, who's a fresh face, excited to be in the comic field, had a big bright white smile, was so happy and excited. And then Jim Shooter's been doing it for 60 years, and he's probably exhausted at this point. So I really can't get mad at Jim Shooter for not being all excited to sign my Pharaoh Lad. So.
Well, as long as they're not rude, though. I mean, if they're rude, then they just shouldn't be there, probably.
Yeah. He wasn't rude at all. He was just kind of very low key and didn't let me know about the price until after he had already signed.
Sneak it right in there.
I am the Spanish and Welsh authority. Oh, I pronounced it right. Okay, good. Thank you, Elon.
Cool.
Very positive. Ending doing fine. This is funny. How about giving Roy Thomas your money?
Well, he was not rude. So,
Rose, a cranky guy, didn't know the backstory. Sad to hear. Yeah, did any famous comic artist jump on the NFT bandwagon? I don't know about that. That's interesting because for some reason, I can't get off DC's email list about this. They're always sending me NFT updates. I am the last guy on the planet that's going to invest in NFT or Bitcoin. I don't even think they're real things. So no.
Yeah, NFTs are such a scam. That is a scam.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess I can't even comment on Bitcoin because I don't even understand how it exists. And
I think that's less of a scam, but it's. I know William Shatner is big in the NFTs. Did you know that?
That does not surprise me one bit.
Yeah, he's a bit of a grifter, I think. Yeah.
As much as I love Star Trek, yeah. Okay, so let's get back to Wonder Woman Historia. So the last 20 or 30 pages grabbed you. What we had is there's really no Wonder Woman per se. It's a history of the Amazons, and I am a fan of Kelly Sue DeConnick's. I would say I'm a bigger fan of Kelly Thompson if we're just picking out writers.
You're just comparing Kelly's.
If we're comparing Kelly's, yeah, sure. I like Kelly Sue DeConnick's Captain Marvel. I loved her Pretty Deadly. Haven't read Bitch Planet, but I own it, so I can read it. I feel like she's easy to take shots at for some reason because people like to take shots at her. And I don't think that's warranted. I think we should just judge her. Oh, wait, she also wrote Aquaman, which I haven't read, but Gio likes it, and he's the Aquaman authority. I don't know. Probably because she's a woman and she had the audacity to make Captain Marvel a strong female protagonist. I think that's why Kelly Sue takes shots, and I don't think that's fair. She should just be judged on her writing. Well, yeah, and I think her writing is solid, and I think this is her best effort. For me personally, this is an amazing story of the creation of the Amazons. And
I think this is the first I've ever read of her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And halfway through it, I was like, she's not pulling this together. I was like,
okay, about what? Halfway through?
About halfway through. I didn't think it was really going to land,
Okay.
And I had some doubts about it. I mean, I love the art all the way through, but.
Yeah. What was the part? Where were you feeling that?
I guess the world building, the world building seemed a little sketchy to me. And I don't know if not being a DC guy was any part of that or not, but I was a little confused about the setting sometimes,
Yeah. This has nothing really to do with the DC universe.
I mean, I know a little bit about Grecian mythology, and so, I mean, I wasn't completely lost.
Yeah. Well, and then they also have what I thought was very helpful. We can skip to the extras in the back. They had the tribes that were creaed.
Yeah.
And this was cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. The back matter.
Yeah. So it's the creation of it ends up with the creation of Diana at the very end, and we've got
you just went right to it, didn't you?
Oh yeah, sorry, spoiler alert. But we're talking about Hippolyta being queen. It's how Hippolyta becomes queen of the Amazons and how the Amazons were created
and how they get locked on the island, I guess, that they're
right, because I thought that was an important point that well, I don't want to spoil it too much, but
it's a tragedy, isn't it? The whole thing really is a kind of an epic tragedy, I think.
Yeah, it is where they are. We've always thought of the island of Themyscira being sort of a paradise, but we learn the cost of it in this book. It came at great cost to Hippolyta. She, the creation of the Amazons happened at great cost to those gods who dared defy Zeus, and they came down to earth and created their tribes. Each of the gods on the earth created their tribes, but the tribes hadn't acquired the strength or invulnerability yet that we have seen historically on Themyscira. They could be wounded in battle, and it's more about Hippolyta's ability to become a leader, because eventually the Amazons go to war versus Zeus's gods. Did
you have a favorite tribe?
Oh, Artemis.
Did you pick your tribe?
Yeah, I stand Artemis. Who is here?
That's what I was going to say, Artemis.
Yeah, I loved Artemis's completely sassy attitude and not willing to take no for an answer, and doing what she.
And I love the design of Artemis with the antlers and the shifting animal motif all through it. I really like that a lot.
That's a good point. Is that she changed forms throughout the panels, or even in one panel, she would be changing forms, which I thought was
mid-conversation sometimes.
Yeah. And so that's one thing to really emphasize here, is that so that people don't get confused, Artemis changes, as Larry said, like mid-conversation. She's got a shifting shape. So, okay, Jess agrees. Team Artemis always.
That was the best.
Knowing where a character comes from, history and culture, can add a lot to how you experience the character later. Taking time to paint the complicated tapestry from which Diana emerges was so key. Ooh, Jessica, you have a way with words. We have a future together, I think. Yeah, especially regarding Superman. Close your ears, Kristen. Don't listen. No OmniDog NFTs in the pipeline. No, I'm not going to grift.
Yeah.
Call me Top Guns here. Johnny loves your t-shirt.
Thank you.
Why wouldn't want to be a strong character? Always nice to see characters being pushed to the next level. Very well said, Mr. Awesome. Totally agree. Remsko's here. What up, buddy? A great book to discuss after Barbie. Not even joking. A lot of similar themes, but less goofy war. Yeah, I do want to find out later what Freddie thought of Barbie. The phenomenon of Barbie, which is going to be like $1.5 billion movie. I beg your pardon. What is this? What got passed down through the gene pool?
That's what this is. Yep.
Oh my God! Why am I hosting a show with you? I should be hosting this with Jessica.
It wasn't a secret, so I.
Oh, well, it's not now. I think it's crazy how much hate the Captain Marvel movie gets. I enjoy it quite a bit. I'm with you, Dr. Elevator. Out of all the Omni Bros, I'm like, well, I think Riley liked it too, but nobody else liked it. And I'm like, well, I mean, that's a separate story. But
I liked it, but I didn't love it. But.
Well, at least you didn't hate it. And this is one thing the internet created, and why I think the internet was a mistake, is that we have people like you and me. We stick with comic books and on YouTube. Then you've got cooking shows. Fine, they're experts in cooking. You've got people who sharpen and make knives. You've got toy posers and stuff. Fine. Everybody on the planet thinks they're a movie critic.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody thinks they're a legit movie critic. Like they've gone to film school and they studied the Truffaut and Antonielli and all these other great directors and everything. Everybody thinks they're a movie critic. And I'm here to say, I don't care what you think about movies, anybody on the internet. I like what I like, and I'm not pushing my opinions on you. That's why I'm a comic YouTuber. I stick in my bailiwick. I don't do comics and movies. I do comics. I'm not a movie. I don't think I'm a movie critic like everybody else on the internet does. Oh my God, especially Star Wars. Everybody in the Star Wars fandom, shut up. Okay, there. I did my rant. War Paint Barbie, she will sell millions. She totally would. Larry is just less vocal. Kristen is actively anti-soups. Yeah, man. I liked it because it was quite different than a lot of the other Marvel movies. I loved it, and I'm not afraid to say it. And I bet the answer to this is no. Why would he? No, and even though it's my book of the year, if you don't like Superman,
the art does look good.
Yeah, if you're not a fan of Superman, there's no reason to read it. And I mean, I kid Kristen. I do more than kid Kristen. I like fake punch Kristen about this, but I'm not going to jam you up for it. If you don't like a character, you don't like a character, and I think Marvel's more your bailiwick anyway.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I don't know. He doesn't really read DC.
Well, I do like Batman, and I've read a fair amount of Batman.
Captain Marvel movie.
There's about a sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
There's about a handful of DC characters I like a lot. Catwoman, Batman. I love the Killer Croc character. Love that. And I like the Demon. There's a pretty good handful that I like a lot. Swamp Thing, of course.
My life would be a lot simpler if I had just stuck to DC. But there are a lot of really good Marvel books out there, and I wanted to read good stories. So I'm nowhere near your level on Marvel knowledge, and I will never be. That's why I'm more of a current day Marvel reader, because I just want to read good comic books. So if I'm not going to be able to go into the 1970s or 80s like you can and express an opinion on it. I read Marvel growing up here and there and through the Silver and Bronze Age, so I have a working knowledge of it. But yeah, that's one reason why I'm so far behind on everything, is that I have so much DC and Marvel and Image reading to do. We've got such a plethora of great books, and I'm just ranting today. Good grief. Sorry. Captain Marvel movie is a gem. Yes, you are right, Freddie. Marvel's is going to kick ass. I saw the Marvel's preview before Barbie, and it looked awesome. It looked fun.
Well, my main beef with the Captain Marvel movie was where they all of the traditional male Captain Marvel character, all of his plot lines are now off limits to the Marvel film because they changed it. You get what I'm saying? The death of Captain Marvel. How can that be done now? It can't. You can't tell those stories. I mean, maybe they could figure out a way to do it, and introduce Marvel. I don't know. But, yeah. So that because I like the Ms. Marvel character from the 70s on up. So I'm not anti Carol Danvers at all.
Yeah. Right.
So, yeah.
Well, that's a problem I don't have, because I don't have your history with Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel, Carol Danvers. So that I didn't have that going into the movie. I just wanted an exciting, interesting story. And I don't understand why Brie Larson catches so much grief. There's other female characters in the, there's other actors in the Marvel universe. She didn't smile enough, or she acted kick ass. I don't care. I just wanted to see a good story, and I feel like she was a good actress in it. To be fair, I rarely mention it. It's everyone else bringing up. Now that's true.
Yeah.
Just let me tell you, the worst movie critics are people that studied to work on film and never worked on a movie. If Freddie's in the industry,
a lot of those people.
He would know. Wow, not quite the Roy Thomas rant, though. No, I could never aspire to that. That Kristen owns that.
Yeah.
That's a good question for you, Larry.
Yeah, I reviewed it. I loved it.
That's good to hear. I loved it too.
Maybe if James is here, he could pull that link up.
Jay, I think James is here. Do you want to show Larry's? That was in my 10 best DC books of the year so far. You can find that one too, James. My top 10 DC books so far. I reviewed Catwoman Lonely City in there, and I love that book, and I'm glad to hear you loved it too.
Yeah, I just thought it was a masterpiece.
Yeah. Oh, masterpiece. Nice. Noir Wolf, welcome. I read Superman Space Age a week ago and thoroughly enjoyed it. Mwah! Both funny and moving at times. Exactly. That's why Mark Russell's so great, and that's why Mike Allred was such a good person to pair with him. To me, hating Superman is like hating Mario video games. They are both the purest representation of each medium.
Yeah, see, I have an answer for that.
Go ahead.
Marvel, that began with probably the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man and moving forward, right? That was a big departure from Superman, because Superman largely doesn't have any flaws or weaknesses, right? I mean, you could probably come up with some for me, but generally speaking, he does not, right?
That's why Marvel was so interesting when they first came out with those stories of how they were flawed human characters. Yeah.
And they're set in the world that we know here. They're set in New York. They're set in, wherever. So that is a departure. So I don't think you can say that one is the pure medium and the other's not. They're two different things.
Yeah. And And so I am fully here to say that Superman doesn't get really interesting. This is why I want those Silver Age, Bronze Age books. It's like the period of 68 to 74. And I must say this every show I'm on, is the sweet spot for Superman and Batman, because that's when they finally, since the very beginning, I mean, the very beginning of them was interesting. I should get the Golden Age books, volume 1 again, of both of those, because those were actually really interesting books. Then it just got stupid, and yes, I will still buy them. But 68 to 74 is where they got really interesting and dealt with real issues. And
do you think that Marvel? Do you think Marvel pushed them to that?
It's possible, sure. Yeah, because we've got Spider-Man dealing with real life issues while Batman's dealing with the Grasshopper Gang, stealing his Batmobile and Batman 66 and stuff. So yeah, it's quite possible Marvel influenced them. They probably saw how much Marvel was eating into the share of the market and decided to do something about it. How about Iraq? Larry? I really like Killer Croc. Iraq. Killer Croc, when he was first introduced to the comic book back in the 80s. Iraq. I've never read any Iraq.
I love Iraq. I bought those when they were coming out on the stands, and I probably read the first half, and it was right around that point that I got out of comic books altogether. So I've never seen the ending. I would love about 2 omnibuses to collect all of that.
Oh, now this is interesting. Go ahead.
He was a Native American, right? That the Vikings captured during the Viking Age, and he ended up being raised by Vikings. So he went on ships and all that. So he was like culturally a Viking, but also an American. Before America, so it was a Native American before that.
Yeah.
So it's a really fascinating concept, and it was awesome. Roy Thomas wrote all those. And
I never read that, but I'm interested. What drove you out of comics, and what brought you back in? And when was that?
I guess what drove me out was just the normal kind of story where you think you're too old for comics now. The dumb reason.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
So, and then I kind of just dropped out. And then when the 90s thing, I was already out during the 90s and all that explosion, with the chrome covers and the big shoulder pads and all that nonsense. And and then the bubble bursting. And so I kind of witnessed all that from the side. I wasn't reading them, but it didn't make me want to come back, And then around toward the end of the 90s, you've probably heard this story before. Kristen was in a hospital with her burst.
Oh, that's what brought you back in.
Yeah.
I don't think I had tied that together. I knew that you were always going in there with comic books, and then you'd take her with you when you went to the comic book store.
Well, that started right around there. That was from then on. I came back, and I've been back since. So,
okay,
so.
That's I never knew your origin story, so I think that's interesting. This is in relation to the Marvel stuff. Now, they're not off limits. They can find another way, but so much story, not everything is going to make it to the MCU, and that's okay. And here's Larry's review of Catwoman Lonely City.
James.
And Day really liked your review on the Catwoman book, Larry.
Cool. Appreciate it.
That is cool. And here's my top 10 DC books in 2023 so far. Thank you, super producer James. DC has come out with a lot of good stories so far this year. Do you agree with Jess? Do you agree with that, Jess? Yes, I do, True Graphic. That is a really good thing to point out. I feel like last year and this year, DC has really burst forth with a lot of good stories, a remarkable amount of really good stories. I don't know if editorial has told their good writers, do whatever you want. I know they stuck their fingers in that awful mess, Heroes in Crisis, and left Tom King hanging out to dry. I don't blame Tom King for that at all. That was editorial, but maybe they learned their lesson and they've got a lot of really good writers. Now they have Kelly Thompson, and man, I can't wait to see her Suicide Squad. Not her Suicide Squad. It's Birds of Prey. And I saw that people were already jamming her up on Twitter. This was a couple months ago, including Harley Quinn in her Birds of Prey. And she said, can you guys just trust me that I'm going to make this an interesting book? And I thought that was the best mic drop. I mean, it's Kelly Thompson. She is a really good writer. And she was just like, enough. I'm going to include Harley Quinn and I'm going to make it an interesting story. Just relax.
Is Bendis still with DC, or is he done?
That is a good question. I feel like he's writing Justice League now, but I'm actually pretty far behind. Once I get this Marvel read through done, I need to catch up on DC because there's a lot of Infinite Crisis and Future State I don't have to read yet because that's just like an Elseworlds thing. But there's a lot of Justice League stuff happening. I know Bendis was writing Justice League. Justice League Incarnate is supposed to be great. I know Justice League Dark is great. And I'm pretty up to date on Superman, except for this Philip Kennedy Johnson run. And I'm up to date with Batman. I'm a little behind on Batman.
He never did do a Batman run, did he? I know he wrote Batman, but he didn't take the book over, did he? At any point?
Bendis?
Yeah.
Well, he wrote a great Batman story. He and Tom King switched roles, and Tom King wrote Superman, a great Superman book, and then Bendis's Batman was really good. I liked it a lot.
I'd like to get that. Was that ever collected?
Yeah,
in a hardcover.
I think it's a standard hardcover.
Yeah,
I think I feel like Up in the Sky might be the Superman story might be a deluxe. They're in the other room, but I think it was called Batman Universe, and it showed a little bit Green Lanterns in it too, and it shows a little bit different side of Batman. And I really dug it. I thought Bendis did a really good job on that. There's another guy that I don't understand the hate for it. They blame him for the aging up of John. I highly doubt that was his idea to keep him from being a 10-year-old. I'm sure that was editorials, and they just handed it to him, and he said, "Well, okay, this is what I'm going to write." And John's an interesting teenager, so maybe we'll still get Super Sons runs. We keep getting trade paperbacks for it, and bigger omnis that include all the extra trade paperbacks that get reprinted. I feel like I think DC and Marvel are both. That's my problem. Both DC and Marvel are putting out a lot of good books right now, and I'm supposed to read them all, and I'm not complaining. It's the magazine size Black Label stuff that's been great in Elon's opinion. That's what this is. Rogues, Catwoman, Lonely City. What are some other Black Label big books? They're all in the other room, right? That's my DC room.
But I love the format too, and I love the build. They're fantastic.
Yeah, you're right. They really are. FF seemed to go back to comic book roots and gleam a lot from the group pulps back in the 40s. Did people not like the writing for this book? I thought it was awesome. So many quotable snippets. Oh, I think people loved this book. I feel like it's
well, I think it was Eisner nominated, right?
I think so, yeah.
But that might have been for art. Yeah.
I think that if we're talking about Kelly Sue DeConnick, I feel like I don't go to other YouTube channels or anything because I don't want to get influenced by their opinion. So I don't know what other YouTubers have said. I only know what maybe my friends in various chats have said, and I haven't heard anybody say they haven't liked this book. I think everybody really liked the writing for this book. And here we've got Larry, who doesn't even read DC hardly, and he liked it too.
I did.
We have Kristen's appendix to thank for getting him back in comics. Thankfully, your appendix exploded. You almost lost your life, but we got Larry back into comics.
Yeah. Pretty accurate.
Oh, wait, here it is. I would personally like to thank Kristen's appendix for being, well, it was a little bit more of a nuisance, but for getting Larry back into comics. Yes. God bless Kristen's appendix, wherever it is now. It's funny, I got into ARAC beginning of 1984, which is probably where you dropped off, Larry. Even though I missed the first half of the run, I ended up reading it to the last issue. I got to read this book. It sounds really boss.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
This is when I was out of comics, so I would. That's not a book I would have even known about. It almost killed me, but it been worth it. Oh, Kristen, so dramatic. I did not think a Wonder Woman book would even contend for one of the best books I've read this year. Well, it's a happy surprise then, huh?
Yep, same.
I like how your backdrops match your personalities. Hilariously so.
Is Max saying I'm dark?
Oh, Larry's dark and I'm...
Hey, I'm trying to be brighter, but... Uh-oh. I think Jess froze. Or I'm frozen. One of us froze. Yeah, I think Jess is froze because I got a text telling me that Jess is froze, but I'm not. So, uh-oh. Now he's completely cut off, and I'm big. Well, Christian says Jess malfunctioned. Jewish Dragon says also Marty Pasco, Danny O'Neill, Lynn Wein. That's exactly 1974 to 75 era that Jess mentioned. I think it was kind of a golden era generally. Yeah, I think so too. But for me, it was that era was kind of the beginning of things getting great rather than the best part. I'm going at the other end. Jessica Ashcroft says, so was this your first Wonder Woman, Larry? Probably was, yeah. If we're going to count it as a Wonder Woman. It's more of a deep dive into the prehistory of Wonder Woman, but yeah. Chris, the Comic Slayer says, yes, bad talk Superman while he's gone. I just find him not that interesting. You know, he's too powerful. I mean, and I think the whole S thing is really kind of goofy, you know. But no, I don't want to use Jess's platform to trash Superman. Christian, you do that enough, so I'm not going to do that. Not too much. So. Hondalorian is here. Max is laughing hysterically. Noir Wolf says, at least Jess froze with a very pleasant look on his face. Yeah, he looked very happy. He went away happy. So that's a good thing. Elon asked me, Larry, did you know Batman is racist? I did hear that. I heard Jess say that. I was there when he said it, so it must be true. Eddie's back.
I'm sorry for that. It is a completely sunny day here, and all of a sudden the lights blinked, and I got kicked off. We had the rockinest thunderstorm overhead for an hour last night. 60-mile-an-hour winds. Never lost power. Today it's sunny and the lights blinked and I'm off for 10 minutes. What did you? I see.
You need to get you a UPS, an uninterruptible power supply.
What is that?
It's a big giant battery that you hook your electronics up that you don't want to fail. And when a power outage happens, you'll have so many minutes of power just to those devices.
What? How much does that cost?
You could get one as little as $100, but the better ones are probably closer to 200. I can send you a link if you want to look at it.
Please do. I can write that
pretty sweet.
off. I'll write that right off.
But you'd have to hook up like your router and your cable modem to it so that they stay up.
Yeah,
or you'd lose your internet anyway.
Yeah, forget the refrigerator. I want my internet to stay on.
Right. Exactly. Okay. At least for 5, 10, 15 minutes or longer.
Okay, cool. That'd be good. I see. I missed a lot.
I kind of read a few of them, but.
Oh, okay. Superman Up in the Sky is one of the best. They're both standard size. Two Dragons, my favorite Superman eras around the early 300s, and when they were written by Jerry Conway and drawn by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez.
I like both of those guys a lot.
It's exactly 74 that just mentioned. Think it was kind of a golden age generally. The other history of the DC universe so far is my favorite Black Label. Loved Harleen too. Love the magazine Dimensions. Should do more than that.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Probably hit a peak with Superman versus Muhammad Ali. I have that over on my coffee table. For some reason
I've seen stuff from it over and over. I've never read it, but
Kelly Sue is just that good. Hoping she gets to do the other two Wonder Woman Historia stories. I didn't even know about that. Just couldn't handle the self-examination. Yes, I didn't know what your comment meant, and I decided it was too much for me.
Yeah.
That's Frozen. You can keep talking, Larry, while Jess is having a Jungian crisis. I did. Yeah, I frequently did. The dark side one. Quick, badmouth Superman. So you probably answered this from Jessica?
Yeah.
Okay. Haha, my stupid comment is stuck on the screen. Yeah. How dare you, Comic Slayer?
Wait, it was very minimal Superman talk while you were going.
This is it. This is how Jess gets canceled. Oh, Hondo, what up? Read the first book of Historia. I can see why this may have won awards. I jumped around to look at the art, and my favorite is Nicola Scott. She's amazing. She's even more amazing in Greg Rucka's Black Magic.
Yeah, for me, every book gets better. I think the third book was the best. I think they're exactly in the right order and everything. It's just.
Yeah, and I found it interesting. We didn't get Phil Jimenez's take on it. Oh, and I can start showing some of the art too because of the nice slides you sent me. But I thought this was great that Gene Hawk called it Hidden Figures, and it's the script. Yes. It's the scripts and how he broke it down and stuff. And Nicole,
I love that. And I noticed a few of those before I read that back material. Did you catch a few of them on your way as you were reading? the faces and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I scanned one of them, so one of them's in the slide. Yeah.
And then Nicola Scott calls it Behind the Panels, which is basically the same thing, how she took Kelly Sue's direction and went with it, which I think that's why I think this book is kind of a complete package, because Kelly Sue had a vision and the artists help it come through, and they did it really well, and it all flowed perfectly. So that's I will say this is a 10 out of 10 for me, because I couldn't find anything wrong with it. I mean, I don't know. It was just really well written, and it froze. It froze. I just saw this comment. Just froze with a pleasant look on his face. It flows really well. So interesting how a character that in his first appearance stopped a corrupt politician becomes totally neutral later. That's why such a departure in Smashes the Klan and was amazing. Did you already talk about your top 3?
No, I did not. That would probably be Batman. That's an easy one. Catwoman.
Good.
Maybe Killer Croc.
Killer Croc. Okay.
And that's if we don't include any of the Fourth World characters. We kind of look at them as separate then.
Right. Okay. And this is a callback to when I did exactly what I just did with the froze comment, when I said Batman is racist, which he is not. Love this. We are born to die, but also to live and learn and hurt and grow, and all through it to love our lives, our fellows, and when we are very brave, ourselves. That's well said, Phantom Fool. That is a quote from the book.
Yeah, that was good.
Question for you.
Fall Sunrise. I don't remember that, so I don't think I have.
I think it just came out with.
Is that a real recent thing? Okay, then no.
Has it come out yet, Max? I feel like it's going to come out. It's got trippy art. It's written by, I think it's written and drawn by Trad Moore.
Not familiar, but I'm a big Strange fan. So
okay, yeah. Max loved this. I don't know if he's read this.
I have not.
Okay,
but I don't typically read Superman. So
yeah. But would you ever read an actual Wonder Woman story after this? I know your true feelings. I love having her in the chat.
I can't imagine it, but I'm not going to say. I'm never going to say never. So
yeah. So do you know his true feelings, Kristen? Let's be honest here. Oh, here's a good question for you.
Let's see. I never did see it available. I seen it listed. Like CGN has it listed, but it's still not available.
So I'm doing the after this, I'm doing the monthly books for August with Webhead, and I see Eternal Warrior is up again from Valiant, and I just don't even believe it. But if it's available, I will definitely get it. You couldn't handle the self-reflection, Jess. Don't lie. I self-reflect all the time, Max. You know I have self-loathing. It's completely fine. I think Larry would love the Daniel Warren Johnson Wonder Woman story. I did. I don't. Yeah, it's very metal, like Murder Falcon. So he's. It is a good book. Wait, what was, I forget what we were talking about.
He's talking about the UPS.
For the UPS thingy. Have you seen what this man spends on plastic? Hey, I'm not that bad anymore, Max. Stop. What are you doing telling tales out of school, buddy? Keep it to yourself. These are private things. New 52 Wonder Woman is an awesome starting point for Wonder Woman. Also one of the best DC series of 2010. Dr. Elevator is right. Brian Azzarello's and Cliff Chang's Wonder Woman is awesome. You could start there and be happy. That's a great series. Jess, tonight's forecast of freeze is coming. The extras of Historia have her censored pitch for the other 2 books. Oh, that she wants to do. Okay, I didn't get that to her pitch, her censored pitch. Then you read House of Mystery and House of Secrets. So what do you think?
I've read a lot of both of those, but it's been years and years ago.
Yeah,
I like
House
a lot.
of Secrets and House of Mystery here. I still need to get House of Mystery Volume 3, I think. If you like, they're solid Bronze Age scary stories. They're nothing like EC Comics, back in the day.
Yeah, I never collected them, but I would find them at as a kid, I'd find them at yard sales. So I would have, a smattering of them around, and I did like them.
I think they're really fun. I'm sure Next Imaginaut could say it better than I do, since he can describe things much better than I can. So Next Imaginaut, sell Space Monkey on House of Mystery and House of Secrets, would you please? I keep checking every couple months, hoping Black Magic is coming back soon. Yeah. Yes, I just read it moments ago. That would be the Tradmore Doctor Strange book. So it is out. Treasury edition for that Doctor Strange book isn't out yet. This week or next? Oh, okay. Now, this is a good question. I need the chat to help me with this. I haven't read 8 Billion Genies yet. I know it's for sale right now. The HC came out this week. Interested in your thoughts. For me, here's the thing for me. I love Charles Soule's writing for DC and Marvel. His major publisher stuff I really like. Wait, now I'm blocking on what he's written for Marvel. I mean for DC. Let's just say Marvel. Charles Soule wrote a really good Red Lanterns run. I don't like his independent stuff. I never liked Letter 44, and I didn't care for curse words, so I'm worried about 8 Billion Genies. Have you read 8 Billion Genies or any of his independent stuff?
I have not.
Okay, so I would need the chat to talk me into it. It's so good at hey, keep your pores out of this, Max. That's not. Larry's Library. That's strange. You could have sworn CGN finally got it in stock.
Well, if they did, I missed it. It may have been in stock and then right back out by the next time I checked it. I don't know. It's possible.
Jessica says, I think the way this book starts out was a risk. It could feel overwhelming to new readers, but it also sets the tone for those who don't read many comics that this is a saga set apart from the norm. Yeah, actually, let's see how many. I want to test it on friends who dip in and out of comics but love Greek mythology.
Well, one thing about that, and I'm going to pick some nits here.
Okay, pick your nits.
No secret that I'm kind of a weapons geek, so I know a little bit about. I know enough to be annoying.
Wait, what are we talking about? You're a weapons geek? Whoop!
Yeah,
I actually didn't mean to present that yet. Sorry. Wait.
Okay.
Let me. Okay.
So, and I'm talking about modern and historical, right? So, one thing that took me out of it a few times was I'm thinking ancient Greece, and then some of the weapons they're shown with won't be invented for several hundred more years, and that kind of took me out of it a couple of times. But it's my hang up. It's not, like some of the swords. The one character has a crossbow, which won't be invented for a long time.
Well, they are gods.
Right. But also, you can explain it that way. But typically when you see gods presented, if they're Greek gods, then they're normally in the trappings of ancient Greece. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
That kind of I found it a little bit annoying sometimes. So
okay, I think that's a Larry problem. Yeah.
It is. It totally.
I don't know anything about weapons, and I had no problem. So also he did a really good Swamp Thing. I think it was even a little bit better than Snyder's, and I loved Snyder's. 8 Billion Genies. Oh, here's Reap. Is a good premise, but it goes for too long for my taste. After 3 issues, it started to drag for me. Ends well, though. let's show a little bit of the art.
That was a lot of work. You better show all of it.
Okay, I sure will. It's the back
It was
cover.
a lot I had to do in a short amount of time. That was the main thing. I had to hurry.
The creators, and here's Zeus. So this is how it starts. It's very lush and complicated. Look at all that.
Yeah.
This is Phil Jimenez.
Psychedelic even. Psychedelic, you could say.
Yeah, and it looked, what I liked about it was this looked to me like how it would seem, when you've got the heavens full of these gods and they're all crowded around and things are changing all the time and things are happening here and there. And this is, to me, I really like this because this is how it does seem like how the heavens would be, just in a constant state of change and creation. And there's Hera.
I really like this one.
Yeah, Hera. This is like the tomb of the gods, or wait, this is where their souls are kept, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see.
And they are in order, so.
Yeah, the well of the lost. The souls of all women whose lives were taken in violence are consigned there, eternally guarded, loved, and revered as they should have been in life. The goddesses meet to pay tribute and execute their plan. All the goddesses save one, Hera. Hera's not there. Hera sits this one out, kind of. Still that beautiful Phil Jimenez art. Oh, and this is when Hippolyta is on Earth and discovers the baby, and it's a girl, so the parents don't want it, and it's set into a river, which she feels guilty about for the rest of her life.
Yeah,
and we go through what she went to try and get the baby back. She has a change of mind. She gets gifted a bitchin' horse.
Yeah.
With a skull on it.
That horse with the skull on it, it kind of reminded me of the steed from Elden Ring, the video game. I don't know if you've seen any art from that, but
I haven't. It's really boss.
Yeah.
So this is Gene Ha artwork.
Yeah. Do you see the faces in the trees there on the right panel? I'll go back.
That one?
Yeah, the upper right, there's a face, and then there's another one lower.
Oh, on the right-hand side. Yeah.
Yeah, the right-hand side of the panel.
Yeah. Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of these, even though it was a little bit simpler, all of these need to be examined carefully. I know I need to go back and reread this because the art is really rich.
I think the whole thing would probably benefit from a second read through, really.
Yeah, I agree with that. And here are the gods, and they get their tribes. And I believe that's Hera with her peacock.
And did you like the peacock motif she had all the time with them?
I did. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
And I think this is Nicola Scott, right? Or we still? Yeah. Okay.
I think we've skipped to the last book now.
Yeah, and you see the horns come out on Zeus. He's not pleased and declares war. Oh, and that's the last one. I did go through them all.
Yeah, you sure did.
Hippolyta jumps.
Yeah, I didn't want to give the entire ending away, but it's
okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
So we do. Yeah, let's end on that one. That's beautiful. Ooh, that is just Nicola Scott killing it.
Yeah, really did.
I haven't been able to get through curse words, but I heard really good things about 8 Billion Genies, so I got it. We'll be more cautious about Soul if I don't like it either.
Did you have any problem with the build on your book?
The book we're reading now?
Yeah. My copy,
no.
I doubt you can see this, but plus I'm not great at this, but
Is it coming apart?
Well, no, it just like they didn't get enough glue right here on this edge. I can't get it on the camera, but
Is that
I think I'm going to put a drop of glue in there, try to fix it.
No, I don't have that problem.
Yeah, it's just the inside paper on the back cover.
Okay.
It's a little spot where it's like bubbled, you know. It doesn't hurt anything. I just noticed it when I was reading it. But
I can't say my friends are weapon aficionados, but point taken, Larry. Anachronisms annoy me too. I know enough to be annoying. Larry quoting my mantra. Yeah, that is true for Max. Larry has an arsenal for the impending zombie apocalypse. Those pages must have taken so much time to draw and put together. Elon with a good point. These are colored brilliantly, and there's a team of colorists. Hi-Fi, Arith Prianto, Romulo Fajardo Jr., Wesley Wong, and Annette Kwok were the colorists.
The only one I recognize in that is Hi-Fi. I'm familiar with Hi-Fi.
But yeah, that's a good point, Elon. The color is brilliant all throughout it.
Yeah.
This is good. It's almost as good as the Treasury edition of Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise, which I am currently holding.
He has it.
Heading out, 10 out of 10. That Historia, I also give it 10 out of 10. I'm late to the party, but I listened a bit while running errands. I didn't end up buying this one, but was excited to see others' opinions. I ordered 8 Billion Genies. I have only heard good things, so I'm excited to read it. Okay, well, I feel like we've been on an hour and we've covered it. We feel like, and let me just say that you can get this book at Organic Price Books. Use your code OmniDog for $2 off. 5% off shipping 3 or more books together. OmniDog ship it together. And what would you give this?
I think I'm at an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10? Okay. That's pretty good.
But I think if I read it again, it might go up. I don't know. So I'm a little bit on the fence, but
that'd be interesting if you read it again and it went up to a 9 or something. I hope it wouldn't drop down to a 7, but
no, I don't think so.
No, because that book doesn't exist yet, Max. None of us have seen it. Nobody's believing you. No, stop.
He's high.
Yeah, you're high as a kite, man. What are you talking about?
He was hanging out with Cycle, and Cycle gave him something.
Having edibles. Where is Cycle? I missed him yesterday during the afternoon too. He must be pulling a day shift. That ain't no good. And we'll end with this. Max has now. Yeah, you are high. We knew it. So you can find Larry on Larry's library. The link is in my description. There's also a link to get the book at Organic Price Books if you'd like to. Get it wherever you want. I don't care. It's not, it doesn't matter to me, whatever. But peace and love, peace and love. Go to Larry's library. He has a great channel. Thank you to the chat. You guys were great today, except for Max, who's high as a kite.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Good. Well, I look forward to the next book, and we'll figure out what we want to read next for August.
Yep.
And peace and love, peace and love. And I will play us out with my theme song, which is this.